Two-time state champion for Lincoln Southeast as well. Welcome. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
What do you weigh now?
200, just flat.
What'd you weigh when you played at your heaviest?
I think I touched 235 to 240 once.
Wow.
But
yeah,
it wasn't all good weight. It was a lot of pizzas and late nights at on O Street that don't do any favors.
And the Coach K strength program as well. All
man.
those squats and lunges and
it's all
bench
heavy
press.
weights and not maybe enough.
Your
running
body
or something.
appreciates not having that extra 40 pounds.
I
on it.
bet.
A few pounds less.
So just give us your overall feel of the way the defense played so far.
I mean, I think it's been really good, right? So if you're grading this defense, I mean, we had pretty high expectations, and I think it's hard to be disappointed if you take away a little bit of the Illinois game. Like it's a remarkable season. It's been great so far. So I think I'm still pretty optimistic. We got a hard stretch coming up here, but for the most part, like we've played really well at all levels. I mean, I was worried about the linebackers. John Bullock and Bayer, they've been better than expected.
Yeah.
The D line's been good, and we've had some like guys like Sierra Wright step up. Tommy Hill's been for a while better than expected even for me. So I've been very, very happy with their performance. Like sans maybe Illinois, where we kind of we got off kilter, but then again, like Tony White, he showed he can adjust, right? So that's also, I think, reassuring that like he's showing that he's not, somebody that's going to be maybe just figured out. He also has, some other tools in his toolkit to just like adjust and deal with, the season as it goes.
Yeah, when this 335 came out, Bo, I was like, gosh, I'm not familiar with it. And you look at back, old San Diego State tape or Rocky Long, all this, that coordinator. I'm like, how would I fit in this defense? Because we played in a 4-3 defense and under front, cover 6, right, quarter half. But I would probably play multiple positions. How do you think you would have fitted in this 3-3-5 scheme?
I mean, it's hard to know exactly, but it seems like it likes athletes. So if you can, there's a lot more movement. So I think if you're a guy that can. It's athletic and multiple, like they'll find a way to use you. So I mean, I think in the end, you'll find your place if you can do a few different things. And so that's how I see it. Is like I would like it because, hey, move me wherever you want to. So.
As a former in-state linebacker yourself, how much appreciation do you have for what John Bullock has done this year? And your brother Barrett was obviously around when he was here.
Yeah.
Has Barrett chimed in at all about what Bullock has done this year? Have you had a chance to visit with Barrett about Bullock?
Just a little bit. I think he's just very excited for him. He's just a hard-working kid that, if you're a walk-on that's moved positions and like, especially like he's gone from, walk-on safety to starting linebacker, but he's also he's getting better every week. The first couple weeks I was rewatching him close. Every week he's gotten better. He has that knack for not just making the play every time, but like he has the timing effect of like the instincts to go make a big time play. So super impressed with Bullock.
So Bo's also a member of the New Media. He does a podcast with, I believe, former All-State quarterback at Southeast. I believe he was All-State, right?
First team Super State.
There you go. So Nick Bob was that. You guys do a thing where who's in the club, right?
Yes.
The beginning, a lot of defensive players. How's the offense done getting into the club as we go along?
So the club is taking off on a life of its own.
Yeah.
But, so it was very defense heavy.
Yeah.
And we always do 5 guys can get in the club, and each week we update it. And then the offense made a little run there mid-season where we started bringing in guys, some of these receivers, but the shift is back. The defense is back. Holding. I mean, Dylan's in the club. Ty's in. Those guys are like their mainstays. They're in there. It's gonna be hard to get them out. But there's, everybody else competing to get in, to.
Is Buschini in the club yet?
Buschini was.
He's waiting on.
He
was
got
waiting
in
for his
on.
Uber.
It was bring your punter to the club night. So he was Buschini night at the club. So he got one
Punter night.
He doesn't get any other night.
He got to the velvet rope. Somebody helped him get in.
It was punter's night. Yeah. So he got in.
Hey, Bo, I want to stick with special teams for a minute because you and I both played special teams as a starter. Nebraska has struggled they've struggled a lot this year in special teams. Just talk about the mindset that you have to play special teams because it's not it's not for the faint of heart. It's
Yeah.
for lack of better terms, it's not a sexy job to have. It's a brutal deal to do to have to be a starter and then go out there after you played a 10-series drive and also go out and punt block.
Yeah,
Or go out and punt, or you have to punt and then you have to go right into defense. Right. It's a tough gig.
It's tough. I think it's not cut and dry. Just put your starters out there, because let's be real. We remember back when you're playing and like you're playing 60, 70, 80, 90 snaps a game. It's hard to give it all you got on special teams and do both, right? It's just you only have so many snaps. So at some point you do got to have other guys that can do it. I think I heard Matt Rule say something about this week where he was talking about maybe we've got too many young guys out there and maybe we need some more guys with experience, right? So I think that's also the give and take you got to find is, do you got some veteran guys that really know what they're doing and get them out there versus younger guys that maybe have more upside that you're trying to work into the flow of, the team and their first season. So I don't know what the answer is, but I think back to our time and we had some veteran mainstays that were just like special teams guys. I think of the Ragonis, the Eisenhurts. That's what they did. They were special teams guys, and they made their living. That's all they wanted to do. And so I think we need to find a few more of those guys that become like, stars in their own right just on special teams.
This is going to put you on the spot, but we've seen 6 games for Nebraska,
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of different players. I mean, is there a guy that you've gotten a taste of that you're like, man, I want to see more of that guy in the second half? It could be offense or defense. Is there a guy or two right now that jump out that you hope can have a bigger second half?
Just in terms, okay.
You have Hall of Famer Thomas Fidone. Remember?
I mean, Fidone, yeah, I mean, we want to see Fidone get the ball a little bit more, but that's tough. I think what I want to see is I want to see a running back emerge. We've been talking about the running backs, like somebody to just.
Who's your chip on right now?
Oh, man.
It's hard, I know.
In a weird way, I still think maybe, I don't know, is Emmett Johnson is he the best player?
He's the most complete.
He's the most complete, but Ramir probably has the most home run potential. I think they're looking for that. So
Yep.
I'm stumped on the running backs. I just want somebody to kind of step up and take that run game to the next level. Seems like that's even Matt Rule keeps saying, we need to see somebody like make somebody miss, break a tackle, take the 5 to 10 yarder, take it to the house. That changes games for us. It changes our run game. So I think I want to see a running back emerge, and then the offensive line. I want to see one of my big thing is when the game gets on the line, can we protect, right? Can we protect Dylan in the clutch? Like people talk about clutch as, hey, can the QB throw it to the receiver? I want to see can the O-line protect the QB in the clutch. That's what I'm looking for in any of these close games.
Yeah, he's been pressured 33% of the time of dropbacks, which is not great. Let's talk about this game against Indiana. It's really a bring your keys game. A lot of RPO, a lot of quick screen. Talk about being a linebacker in a situation where you don't know if he's giving the ball, you don't know if he's running. It's tough going against this Indiana offense.
Yeah, it's there. In a way we might match up decent because at 3-3-5 it allows you to play against the finesse teams and a little bit better. But it is going to be eye heavy. You got to have your keys and you got to just do your job, which is like if this is your guy, you can't get lost in the junk traffic. I think Jay mentioned the Illinois game. Like they're doing a lot of play action, across, tight ends across the field. Around the goal line, we lost our eyes, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know who we were supposed to see. And in the end, if you got strong eyes, strong keys, that's what it's about.
I think you could look at last year against Michigan. That was the 4th game. Defense. I know Michigan was the best team by far last year, so a bit of an anomaly. A little sloppy. They improved, got some things figured out.
Yeah.
Illinois was the 4th game this last year. Got exposed a little bit, but seemed to kind of get things figured out with Purdue and Rutgers. What do you see the tweaks and adjustments from the defense from Illinois to Purdue to Rutgers that gives you some hope, right? I'm not saying we're in dire needs, but just like, ooh, that looks different, that looks better, this is what needs to happen.
I mean, I'm no expert on the 3-3-5, so I don't even want to pretend like that. But just watching Tony White's adjustment from Illinois to Purdue, it looked, there were some things we were doing that I was like, he's putting our guys in position to make plays. Like it didn't feel like we got out schemed at all, right? It was like, we felt like, ooh, did we get a little schemed against Illinois? It felt like Tony White came back adjusted and we were kind of had the upper hand. We weren't playing on our heels anymore. it gave our guys the ability just to say, hey, we're in the position. They knew what they were doing. Felt like that was a really good adjustment game for Tony White to show that, yeah, this is what we can do. Okay, you do this, we can adjust and we can counter you.
Mm-hmm. Your brother Barrett is in the NFL now, coaching with the Falcons.
Yeah.
How much does he like coaching in the NFL? Because when he got into college
Oh my
football, it
gosh.
changed a lot with NIL.
Recruiting.
I mean, he sometimes says he can't believe how good the schedule is. He says it's amazing. It's an amazing schedule for the coaches.
Yeah.
It's, the recruiting, there's a lot that goes into college. It's a harder job to be a college football coach, right? Now the difference is the NFL, it's the not for long league, right?
Yeah.
It is the league that is every week. I mean, it's like been a one possession game every week for him. It's been a coin flip. So you got to be on your stuff every week, and there's a lot that can go right or wrong, and you got to have a quarterback in that league. And it's been a fun start to their season. They've done pretty darn well.
Speaking of having a quarterback, so you're a veteran on a team. Here comes a freshman hotshot, 5-star quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a leader. Can you talk a little bit about how different that kind of is than it normally is?
You got to be a rare person to come in as a freshman and earn a leadership role. I mean, it seems almost unthinkable, but
Yep.
it seems clear that it's real here. And we've got a guy he's a rare one. He's a special kid. But that's not normal, right? It's usually, that takes years. You got to prove it, year in, year out to earn that. But if you're good enough and you have the right mindset and you come and work, I mean, this guy, he has it and he's showing.
A little different than Harrison Beck coming in, right?
Hey, I don't want to make TikTok.
Corey McEwen's favorite.
Yeah. So, but Dylan's, like I say, you don't say that about many people, but we can say it about Dylan.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Got a prediction for the second half? Last 6?
Oh, I think we're in good shape. Ohio State's tough, but going to USC that's going to be a hard game as well. Being on the road, but every game seems, other than that, I feel it'd be hard to bet against us in my mind. If we're playing our game, taking care of the football, playing, strong eyes, physical defense, trying to run the ball like we should. I think we should do okay.
USC has struggled with physicality.
Yeah.
I mean, teams that have went straight at them has given them trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota, that's a team that on paper they shouldn't win that game, but how Minnesota plays. They get those northern trees up there and they just lean on.
Shorten the game.
Yep, no doubt. Bo, we really appreciate it, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, guys. This
It
was
was
great.
great seeing you.
Yeah.